Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today, I'm going to explain the movie called Gods of Egypt. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. The story is set in an alternative ancient Egypt where gods live among the mortals. It opens with the coronation of King Osiris's son, Horus. What was supposed to be a joyous celebration turns tragic as Osiris's jealous brother Set crashes the celebration and kills the king. Set then defeats Horus and takes his eyes, proclaiming himself the new king and commanding mankind to pay riches to pass into the afterlife. Fast forward to a year later, most of Egypt is enslaved by Set. Sick and tired of the maltreatment, Zaya, a slave that works for Set's chief architect Urshu, steals the plan for Set's pyramid and gives the scroll to her lover, Bek. Using the blueprint, Bek infiltrates Set's treasure vault and manages to steal the eyes of Horus. Unfortunately, Bek and Zaya are caught by Urshu, who kills Zaya as the couple escape. Bek takes her body to the exiled Horus along with the eye, promising to help find the other if he brings Zaya back from the dead. Horus and Bek visit the vessel of Horus's grandfather, the Great Ra. Neutral about the conflict with Set and at war with the shadow beast Apophis that threatens to devour the world, Ra does not restore Horus's power, but allows him to take a vial of divine waters to weaken Set. Ra explains to his grandson that the loss of his powers is the result of not fulfilling his destiny, which Horus believes to be seeking justice for the death of his parents. Meanwhile, Set asks Hathor, Horus's love interest, to take him to the underworld, but she refuses and teams up with Horus and Bek to take him down. The trio hatch a plan to infiltrate Set's pyramid, recruiting Thoth to solve the riddle of the Guardian Sphinx, one of the challenges they had to face in order to get in. Thoth was able to solve the riddle, allowing the Mentri to reach the source of Set's power. The group was about to use the divine water to defeat Set once and for all, but the evil king manages to ambush them and destroys the water. Set then takes Thoth's brain, while Horus manages to save Hathor and Bek. Hathor calls on Anubis to take Bek to the underworld and offers her bracelet as Zaya's payment for passage to the afterlife, sacrificing herself as doing so exiles her to the underworld. After absorbing Osiris's heart, Horus's eye, Nephi's wing, and now Thoth's brain, Set flies to Ra's solar barge to confront his father. Ra explains to his younger son that the mistreatment he got was to test him, preparing him to take Ra's place as defender of the world against Apophis. Set was dismayed to know his destiny, not wanting to take over his father's responsibilities. Set decides to destroy the afterlife to become immortal. He uses his new powers to attack Ra, overpowering his father and taking his spear, casting him off of the barge, and setting Apophis free to consume the mortal and underworld realms. As Aphanius attacks, the gate to the afterlife closes. Meanwhile, Bek reaches Zaya just in time to hand over Hathor's gift, but she refuses, not wanting an afterlife without him. She encourages Bek to return to the mortal world and help Horus stop Set. As Horus battles Set atop an obelisk, Bek removes Horus's other eye from Set's armor, mortally wounding himself in the process and falling from the great height. Regaining his power to transform, Horus and Bek from falling over, retrieve his eye and fly him to safety, realizing that his true destiny was to protect his people. With renewed strength, Horus outmaneuvers and kills Set. Finding Ra wounded in the ether, Horus returns his spear, allowing Ra to repel Apophis and Anubis to reopen the gates. The movie is a great example of how goodness will always prevail over evil. It shows the reality of not having a world that is exclusively divided into black and white, kindness and evil. Horus was not a perfect god, not even a perfect king to be. He was also arrogant at times that led to his shortcomings, but what prevailed was his willingness to save the people from Set's cruelty. He had ideals that were centered around the good of his people that made him the best option to lead them. Horus was not the definition of goodness, no, but he had enough in him to be considered as a hero.